our work is not as tough as it may seem to be. Why am I saying that? Because that reality, that resource is already inside of every Nigerian. You know, it's there already. That's why you see some people already typifying it, exemplifying it. So we just need to, the impunity and the boldness that those who do wrong and evil and corruption display when they're doing it. It's the same impunity that those of us who know the truth, who have it, must begin to display in love, because it's already there. Inside of every human being, the good is there, the bad is there. The light is there, the darkness is there. It depends on the environment or the culture that that person is raised in, the environment is raised in. One quick point, then I'll hand over to Chris so he can read the creed, parts of the creed. You know what happens when you take a tuning fork? Right. Tuning forks, maybe there are 10 tuning forks in a room, and then you pick up one, and when you hit it, the other tuning fork that is on the same frequency with this one will begin to vibrate and respond to what this has done. So this truth, this love, this empathy, this new Nigerian is already in the heart of every Nigerian. And it's the what's the word? The forerunners. There's a word I want. Those in the vanguard who already have this truth, where the tuning fork that will activate the others. When we hold on to what we have, and exemplify it will bring it out in the others. In addition to the other things we need to do, not just this alone.
Oh, excellent. All right.
Wow, so, beautiful.
Honestly, yeah. So we just need to up the vibration of the others.
Yeah.
He sounds like a philosopher. Are you a philosopher?
You can't do this type of a job and not be a philosopher.
I think we are all philosophers these days, and because I was speaking to Donkey this morning, and we were talking about how there's a lot of anger, a lot of anxiety going on one parallel line. And I think I hinted at that when we started. There must be opposites do exist. So if something is going that direction, another thing out of the other direction, and then you find the balance in between.
True.
So that's where we are. So that creed, Chris, if you want to give us read that would be great.
We can. Yeah. We can have it now. Yeah. But before then, at least the stepping stone to the creed is the dream, the new Nigeria dream, which is Nigeria will be a new society where national diversities are seamlessly united on the basis of human equality, societal progress, and decency. A strong reference point for zero discrimination, remedy for Africa's deprivation, and pioneer for global harmony. That is the dream, the Nigeria we want to see. It's a Nigeria that will be, that where national diversity are seamlessly united on the basis of human equality, societal progress, and decency. A strong reference point for zero discrimination, remedy for Africa's deprivation, and then pioneer for global harmony. Then the New Nigeria Creed reads from number one of it is that a new Nigeria is possible. That's first of all that we must believe that it's possible.
Yeah.
And that we will make it a reality. That is our responsibility to make it a reality. Then two says that there is strength in our unity and there is abundance in our diversity.
Yeah.
We have no ethnicity, no religion, and no social class other than our Nigerianness. We are Nigerians. Our religion is looking out for each other's safety and well-being. Right. Our social class is other person's status of life, and our comfort is other people's happiness. Sorry, you may be hearing some noise. We have a serious rain here, and as usual, the Nigerian syndrome, they've taken our lives.
Okay. The old Nigerian syndrome.
Yeah, the old Nigerian syndrome, yes. So the third one is that there is no gain without pain. There is no gain without pain. The new Nigerian vision requires individual selfless sacrifices and responsibilities for the happiness of others and the pride of our nation. The fourth says Our true transformation as a nation is rooted in our character and integrity, which begets the good leadership values our nation is in their need of.
Right.
Number 5, the power of love is our weapon. The love of power destroys human leadership.
Right.
Destroys human leadership. Then the 6th one is when our icon of love, character, and integrity begins with us, the new Nigeria dream will become a reality in all aspects of our national existence. We owe Nigeria the responsibility to be selfless in our service to her. 7, to believe and accept Nigeria, patronize our homemade goods and services are acts of patriotism to the nation. To pride in our ability and solidarity in growing each other is the strength of our nationality. 8, we must fully love Nigeria to be morally and emotionally fit to help and support one another. 9, all lives matter. All professions and occupations are needed. All religions, states is important. We are all equal. No life, no profession, no religion is better than others. We are unique in our strengths and need each other to have better lives and better Nigeria. Number 10, we place character and service ahead of money and wealth accumulation. Character is golden. It is the hallmark for a life of meaning. Service is a responsibility we owe others and the society. Number 11, there are emerging leaders in Nigeria with true African blood running in their veins. They are ready to live or die to protect the Nigerian interests. They are the true citizens and leaders who seek the happiness of fellow citizens in the spirit of patriotism and national interest. Number 12, the new Nigeria followers will see the emerging leaders as the voice as soon as they become symbols and icons of national dignity. They will go all out to respect, appreciate, and emulate their good leadership attributes.
Right.
Number 13, there is no room for violence and jungle justice of any sort. As we disagree based on ideal principles, we will find a common and selfless ground to agree with without rancor and bloodletting. No blood is worth being right. Number 14, which is the last one, paying tax is an act of love and not law. We set it as an act of charity and citizenship responsibility. We contribute into a common cause for the good of all, the poor and the rich alike. If blessed with more, give more for the good of the poor. That is the end of that.
Wow. I'm not sure I don't know what to say, because you've covered everything. David said in the chat, the dream has to start by reorientation and starting from the children. I can only imagine this being read to children in primary school, how that child will be a very, very good Nigerian by the time they are finishing primary school. It's no, I mean, you can see it there. Please share it with us in the group at some point. And I don't think we should start, or we should wait for the book to be released before we start driving this narrative, especially here on the network.
Yeah.
I think if we have these 14 points here and start, we can even have conversations around that point. Like for the first point now, if you can read out the first point again, please, because obviously I didn't capture all of them. The first
point is a new Nigeria is possible.
It's possible, exactly,
and we can make it a reality. That we have all it takes to make it a reality.
You see, that point, obviously, that's how we started this podcast. I didn't even know that, but that's the start of this podcast. A new Nigeria is possible. So you see, that conversation can go on for 6 months, and getting 500,000 people to understand, because impression is everything. If you repeat something, repetition is the law of how it goes, where it says if you repeat it's of impression. So it will impress in the mind if we keep on saying things like this in view of creating a new mindset for a new Nigeria. So you go on our social media platform or whatever it is we do going forward, you kick it off, a new Nigeria is possible, Even that alone, it makes the average Nigerian rethink what you mean by that, because it could mean something to you, Les. It could mean something to me. It could mean something different to David. It means something different to you, Chris. It could mean something entirely different to Duncan. But that possibility, as long as there are custodians willing to drive that narrative and amplify it on any level, boom, you already have a movement. And then you have 14 of those. 14 of those is the case of how do you now package it strategically and feed it into the narrative, or feed it into an orientation program, or feed it into a book or program, a movie, whatever it is, but how do you get that message across? Because majority of those things are divine anyway, so that's...
If I may suggest,
sure.
When I was listening to Chris, right, it is New Nigerian Man, when you sort of started talking, some of it felt to me like things that we should sort of change in like our national anthem, as it were, and then I saw TNN's sort of suggestion about the children, and I thought, yeah, that could work as well. But then there are some bits that when I listened to you, I thought, hold on, actually, the government people should, swear to some of these, because at the end of the day, even with the kids, it's what we adults emulate to the children. You understand that they're going to follow. So why wait for that generation to grow up? The people who want to sign up for office should understand what the society expects of them as well. That was basically my sort of the direction that I went as you sort of read through.
I was getting a vibe on the fact that we don't have a creed. We have an anthem, we have a pledge, but we don't have a creed. So this is the creed. There's no, you obviously have the patent to that. It's a case of driving it out there to, there's nothing negative about that. Everything about everything you said is positive and makes perfect sense. It's not centered around any kind of politics. It's actually centered around empathy. So introducing it to young Nigerians or would-be Nigerians, even to lost Nigerians, because we are trying to create mindset, and that's our fourth point of the conversation. So let's obviously we're going to have more of this podcast, and we're going to go into, I think we should even have a podcast centered around the creed at some point. Let's talk about the 14 points, and then you see other people share their views about those points. But now that leads us to the final conversations of the day, and I think we only have about 15-20 minutes, which is the visions of hope for this new Nigeria. So now that we know, we've discussed about the need for a new Nigeria, we've discussed about who a new Nigerian is, and from our point of view, we've kind of like summarized it, that individual needs to be liberated from a positive mindset, and then how do you align this mindset? Well, we already have a creed, there's no need to even beat about the bush. We have a creed that they can align with the liberated mind to the new Nigeria. So now our collective visions of hope is what I think we should now probably kind of end with.